Support the show through donations at thefilmbuds.com. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Film Buds podcast. This is episode number 154. And my name is Henry.
I am Paul.
Joining us this week is welcome back to the show, the great Sky Tilley.
Hey.
Now, Sky, you were on, I guess, a couple times last year, maybe early last year for the first time, I think.
Yeah, and I think so.
You now have your own podcast.
Yeah, it's fun. We had you on, and that was good. We talked about Mortal Kombat, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
great
that
film.
gem. It's so good. So good. Underappreciated.
Yeah. Well, this week we have a review of Christopher Nolan's Tenet, which is now on VOD. And then we have a listener question concerning, or where we are going to be revealing the best and worst film of certain big Hollywood directors. So who knows what will happen with that. Then we have, picks of the week, other stuff we watched. So thanks again for joining us. Well, first of all, happy holidays to everybody. We hope everybody's
Was there a holiday recently?
There was.
Oh.
Yes.
It didn't feel like it, but there was.
No, yes. Technically. Well, guys, how you doing?
Calendar days are just all weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys doing all right?
Yeah, doing pretty well. Hanging on, just in that kind of weird lull between Christmas and New Year's. So,
yeah.
Yeah, no, same. I'm just, as I mentioned before we started recording, just trying to get caught up on all the things that I've missed, which is a lot. I went through Wikipedia just to see what was released this year. And I was like, man, I had completely forgot that these things were, out this year.
Yeah.
Because I knew a lot of release dates got pushed, but some of them didn't. And I'm like, oh, man, I need to get caught up. And I have 30 things that I need to watch.
Mm-hmm. Same.
So by 2028, I should be able to get it finished.
Yeah.
I have a list. I'm sorry, I don't have it ready.
That's okay.
Hang on. So for movies, I want to see American Pickle. I haven't watched that yet.
Me neither.
The Bee Gees documentary. Mm-hmm. Downhill. I heard it wasn't that great, but I still want to see it. 21 Bridges. Didn't get to see that. The Jesus Rolls. Didn't get to see that.
Right.
The Gentleman, Three Christ. Yeah, there's a lot. There's quite a bit. I have 27 movies here that I need to watch, and I just haven't.
Yeah, I probably have even more, I think. I've missed so many.
Some of these are from older, they're not necessarily this year, but quite a bit are.
Paul, anything going on with you, man?
No, not really. I went and I saw my wife's family, and we had a little COVID safe Christmas, and because they work from home, and it was nice. It was a good time. We went to this outdoor park that was also partially a petting zoo, and it was really cold that day, so no one was really there, which was great. But it was a good time. So not honestly terribly much new in my world. Like I said, it's just kind of that in between period of waiting for the new year to start back up. So that way people are like, all right, back to work again,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I do want to say too, the most exciting thing that I think I've done this year is just going to Austin Film Festival, even though it was virtually. Oh. It was very exciting and very cool to attend.
That's awesome.
So if you haven't attended, I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Now
I don't know what it would be like in person. I feel like it would be very overwhelming, but the Zoom format was very easy, and they had pre-recorded panels, so it was just easy to just click and watch. So that was great.
Did you? How many movies did you see?
I didn't watch a single movie.
Oh.
I just attended panels.
Oh, okay.
There were a couple that I wanted to see, but they were region locked. So they're if you're in Austin, you can watch it.
Gotcha.
I wanted to watch Starman about David Bowie. Didn't get a chance to watch that. But I mean, there were a few others, but honestly, there's just so little time And, Zoom fatigue is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, I wanted to make sure that I got around to all the panels because for me, that's where I wanted my money to go. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fair.
Getting that industry insight and all that stuff was very fascinating.
That's good, man. All right. Well, guys, anything else you want to mention before we get to it?
No, not a thing.
Yeah, I'm on the boat. I'm on that boat.
All righty. Cool. Well, with all that said, let's get into our review of Tenet. And we do have a clip, so take a listen.
All I have for you is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors, some of the wrong ones too. Use it carefully.
All right. Well, Tenet, as we said, is on VOD now, and it's written and directed by the big dog, Christopher Nolan. And the plot synopsis is, and stay with me here, armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. And, I didn't do the cast. So it stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson. Oh, the cast is all mixed up here. Elizabeth Debicki, Kenneth Branagh, Clemens
Aaron
Poise.
Taylor Johnson.
Yeah. Guys, any I'm forgetting? Any big ones I'm missing?
Oh, Michael Caine.
Yes.
Yeah.
For, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
He's got to make his appearance, though.
Yeah, I think it's contractual.
Now, this is, of course, this one did have a theatrical run earlier in the year, and it's just been released digitally. So, guys, what did you think? I mean, it's been a long-awaited film. Sky, I guess since you're the guest, would you like to kick things off?
I guess. I love Nolan, right? Like, I think I will be excited forever, whenever he releases a movie. I will always get that excitement. Whenever I see a trailer and I see his name, I'm like, oh God, I'm so excited to see this. That being said, I don't know if I liked this movie. I've been sitting with it for a week or so now, and I still don't know if I like it. I think it was needlessly convoluted at times. I think that it was just a giant cinematic spectacle, very much like Dunkirk, where he really focused on, the grand scale of cinema, great special effects, great acting. And it was hilarious at times too. Like he really brought out his comedic chops with his screenwriting in this one. But honestly, I typically watch movies with subtitles on, especially if it's like, a hard accent that I'm not able to really pick up on, or, of course, if it's international film, I try to watch it with subtitles. But with this one, I wasn't going into it with the intention of watching it with subtitles. I had to, because I couldn't hear what anyone was saying.
Yes.
So his sound mixing was completely off, in my opinion. And the same thing, I first noticed it with Dunkirk, where it was like, I can't really hear what's going on. But I knew that it was like mainly Tom Hardy's character because he had the mask. With this one, it was just, everything was drowned out. And I've been seeing it recently too, where like a lot of films are doing that now for some reason. Like they're really sacrificing dialogue volume for other, just the film volume itself, which I don't enjoy. For me, the most important thing that I want to hear is dialogue, So I still don't know if I like it.
Sure. Paul?
But I am curious about your guys.
Yeah. Paul?
Sure. I enjoyed it. Is it one of, I guess, my favorites? I'm not sure. I think that he's a filmmaker that, it requires repeated viewing to a certain degree, I think, on a lot of his movies. I think Sky definitely has a point about the dialogue. It's definitely an issue.
Yeah.
I had it turned up just about as comfortably as I felt turning it up, because at any given moment, suddenly it was either going to be, someone shouting, which was going to be definitely heard, or, something explosive. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. Christopher Nolan, I think, sort of goes I think every once in a while, instead of going for a specific character arc, he goes for more of just like an entire encompassing theme set inside of a very particular narrative concept, and then just sort of lets that be what speaks for the movie itself. That and the visuals, of course. And I think that it can be effective to a degree, but I think that it's definitely not the most... It's not the chance, you don't get the nice character moments really all that often throughout the film, which is definitely a little bit of a weakness. But for the most part, I liked it. I liked it well enough that I'm interested in going back to watch it again. Maybe this time with subtitles on. I made it through the whole thing without subtitles on.
So you made up your own dialogue.
I took really educated guesses.
Same.
And so, which, I mean, I guess at some point, after we've heard what Henry can say, we can all give our general idea on what the fuck we think is going on in this whole thing. So, but that's kind of where I stand. I like it well enough that I'm intrigued to go back at least once more. Maybe something will completely ruin it upon a second viewing. Maybe it'll get better upon a second viewing, but I'm currently interested enough that I'm like, you know what? I'd like to go back and give it one more view.
Yeah, I'll say I'm interested in going back to rewatch it, but I think I'm with Sky here. I don't think I enjoyed it overall. I thought it almost felt like if you took Inception, but took out the storyline of DiCaprio trying to get back to his kids or find out about his wife's situation. I think it almost feels like if you hollowed out the movie and it was just him going through the different dream levels. That's what it felt like. And there were just times where I was fascinated with what was going on screen. It's so like bonkers and like ambitious and crazy that at times the filmmaking was compelling in that way, but I could not tell you what happens, why it happens. And at times I just didn't care why it was happening. And I think that if it had been like Dunkirk, which I mean, I love Dunkirk. If it had been a 90, 100-minute film, I maybe wouldn't have thought much against it, but it's, 2.5 hours. So you're kind of having to stay with this thing for a long time. And so I do want to go back and watch it, like I said, and it's possible it could go up a lot. I don't know, but it was frustrating to a point where I just did not care all that much. But I totally agree about the sound design. We talked about that a few weeks ago, Paul, you and I, and I agree. I just don't, if he has a reason for it, I would love to hear it. And if it makes sense, fine, I'll go with it. But, the majority of the dialogue, I couldn't tell what they're saying. And the dialogue, especially, there's so much exposition in this. With Dunkirk, it's not really an issue because there's so little of it and it's almost all action. But with this, you're kind of having to keep up. Like it's almost like if you took Inception, but made all of the dialogue like unintelligible, you'd be completely lost. And so, yeah, overall, I hate to say it, but I don't think I enjoyed it on a first time viewing.
Yeah. I think I'll watch it again, which is more than I could say for Dunkirk, because when I saw Dunkirk, I just didn't enjoy it. And I didn't enjoy Tenet for the same reason, though. Is he's sacrificing character for this spectacle, and I couldn't care what was happening. I mean, the lead character is named protagonist. Like, how can you latch on to someone who doesn't have a name? So it was very. When he started off, of course, he started off doing very character-driven features.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I'm done with that. And it makes me nervous going forward because I love Nolan. I love The Prestige. I love Inception. And, of course, the Dark Knight trilogy. But, if this is his trajectory, I will follow it. I will be there in theaters. If it's not COVID or any other pandemic, and I will see it.
Yeah.
And I may not be happy afterwards, but I will still see it because he's that good of a filmmaker. And that's the thing too. If it wasn't Nolan that made this, I'd be like, wow, that was great. But Nolan, having his name attached to it, it sets such a high bar. And for me, it's like if Tarantino falters, the movie's probably great in someone else's hands, but if your name's attached to it, you really have expectations to meet.
Yeah, it almost feels like how I think of Terrence Malick's career. He's kind of become more and more narrativeless in his films, and it's almost that same way with Nolan. Is he's doing away with character-driven stories and just discussing the world and concepts and ideas more so than focusing on a character. Which you can love it or hate it. I loved Dunkirk with how it was executed in that, but in this, I didn't really. And so, it can all just depend on the situation itself or the specific situation.
Yeah. I will say, that my favorite part of the movie is when the protagonist goes into the kitchen and he's like asking for hot sauce. And then he just immediately goes into a fist fight. Oh, yeah. Amazing. Like hilarious. I want Nolan to make a comedy. Because it would be bonkers.
Yeah. Paul?
I think Nolan demands a lot of his audience. I think that he's really filming, I guess, a movie in a way that makes sense to him. And so I think that part of the experience is trying to figure it out and partly trying to unwrap where he's going with it. And I stand by. I think that a lot of it is really thematic. I think that the whole notion of him being protagonist in role and in title is to kind of give him a certain amount of anonymity that allows you to just sort of see this person be an active part of their life. And I think that it's meant to be a part of his overarching metaphor, which is all summed up by Robert Pattinson, at the end of the movie about needing to be an active participant in your life. No one's going to live your life for you. Right. There is no vicarious anyone that's going to suddenly save you. And, the future is coming whether you want it to or not. So you have to kind of be engaged in life. And I think that you definitely have to be engaged. I think you're right. But I think that he's really trying to, get at a theme and just kind of do a high concept around that whole thing. Whether or not it lands for everyone is completely up for however you would like it to land for you. But I think that I definitely would like to see him go back and do something smaller again, because if this is like, the magician doing the trick as big as he can, then I would like to go back and get really amazed by a really simple sleight of hand card trick again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember what the budget was for this movie, but I know it was
enormous.
Enormous. I want to see him make a movie with half of this budget. Like, I feel like he's just like, I have all this money. I need to use it. I need to use all of this money. And I'm like, just cut it in half and make something amazing. Like the people who first, found you, like Memento, make another Memento, surprise us,
Yeah. Yeah. 100 million will do him fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's enough. But no, I do like the concept in this, and I mean, it seems to be a kind of a recurring thing. He seems to like connect with the idea of someone running out of time, or a world running out of time and not really being able to do anything about it, like fighting against it, but ultimately losing and just kind of doing the most with the time that you have. And I think in this, like in Interstellar almost, where Matthew McConaughey is watching, his kids grow up on video, over the recordings and things like that. And so that part is interesting, but compared to those other films, they have more heart and emotional threads than this one does. And so that's what I think hurts it the most.
No, for sure. And I think that that's fair. And for me, I guess it's not the worst of the worst, just because I still will always be blown away by just how technically proficient he is and how very pointed he is in everything that he does.
Yeah.
Again, it's just sort of an issue of whether or not it lands for you. And so if you aren't looking for something really, really rich in character, then this movie is probably going to, absolutely blow your skirt, up. You're just going to be wowed by the spectacle. If Venom is your kind of movie, then this is probably too, just on a pure like unplug, let the stuff wash over you and just look at all of the big shoot stuff. This is, for some people, there are people who are going to just like skip every scene that isn't a gunfight and just kind of experience this movie that way. So, and it'll be great for those people. But, if you're looking for something deeper, something more along the lines of what he used to do, then this definitely is going to disappoint you.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And like, even though I didn't really love the movie, there are like action sequences in particular that are just crazy. And just the level of craft, especially that so much of it is practical, is insane to realize. These explosions like that, the highway chase is great. Just the scale of it, the choreography, all of that is fantastic. Where they're doing the bungee jumping up the tall building, that's great. The fight with the SWAT guy in the airport hallway, like all of that stuff is amazing. And I'm it's like kind of that movie magic that you see Christopher Nolan do so much. But I think it would go really, really high and then really, really low for me. So it didn't keep its momentum.
Here's a question. Do y'all think that he was intending or is intending to continue on with this franchise? Like, do you think that this is supposed to be, I'm not sure if anyone has discussed that. I'm not sure if he's talked about it. Is this supposed to be more than one thing? Because I feel like at the end, the way that they leave it, it's supposed to be more than one thing.
Isn't there some discussion over there's like a Annihilation trilogy where it's like it's Dunkirk, Tenet, and then I think either Interstellar or Inception, and that's meant to be a quote unquote trilogy. I've heard that online. I don't know if that's what he's thinking, but I don't know. To be honest, I kind of hope he doesn't. I hope he just kind of does something else completely after this, but I don't know. I feel like after having done the Dark Knight trilogy, I don't see him going back to doing a full-on trilogy or series.
I guess it was something in the way that he and Pattinson interact at the end. It's sort of this like, yeah, we got the door left open for plenty of adventures ahead, because you and I got into some time hijinks. Let me tell you, as he like swaggers away into the chopper. So
they tie that in a nice bow at the end.
Yeah, and so I was really just like, are we going to be getting more of these? Or is it now John David Washington and Robert Pattinson as time cops? Is that what we're going to start doing?
I mean, that could be entertaining. We'll see. $200 million of, that kind of film, maybe. But
honestly, I doubt that he gets the sequel just because, this thing's underperformance at the box office is apparently why HBO went and became, the launch platform for the next 2 years.
It's crazy.
Good job, Christopher. Yeah.
I read too that on a technical level, which agreed, like it's flawless technically, except for the sound. But like, the fight choreography, if I read correctly, it was all like they filmed it forward and then they actually had them do it backwards. And that's how they were able to create that effect. Interesting. I think I read it from like Vulture. So, I'm not sure, but I mean, that's what I had read. And if that's the case, I mean, like, that's insane. And you got to applaud someone for being able to tackle something like that. And he's a madman, Yeah. Brilliant, but he's crazy. Yeah. And also, we should say this is the first film in a while of Christopher Nolan's not scored by Hans Zimmer. Mm-hmm. It's the guy who has done The Mandalorian, is the guy who did the music for this. And a great score, but I agree about the sound design. Like, the music is pretty constant, and it's rare there's ever silence. But
as we've said, that sound mixing, like it's frustrating. And I just would love to know why he does that. Because clearly, with the money he has, the attention to detail, he could do something about that over time, but he doesn't seem to be. But he's a madman, so I guess we shouldn't question his methods. But no, the cast is great across the board. John David Washington, Elizabeth Debicki. Oh, Kenneth Branagh. He's a maniac in this. Yeah. He's crazy. But I enjoyed him.
It's a better Russian villain bad guy than he played in that Jack Ryan movie.
Way
with,
better.
Chris Pine and Keira Knightley.
Way better.
Yeah, Elizabeth Debicki, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, she is like coming up, man.
Yeah.
She is booming right now. And I remember, I think the first time I saw her, it was either in Guardians or it was in Cloverfield Paradox. But now it's like every other thing. I'm like, oh, there she is.
Oh, no.
She's killing it.
The last thing that I remember, the first thing that I saw her in was The Great Gatsby movie with Leo and Toby. There we go.
Yeah.
And Carey Mulligan. And then, I've definitely been seeing her since then, Guardians Volume 2. Cloverfield Paradox was something else.
Such a letdown.
But she's been consistently enjoyable in everything that I've seen her in. I think she was also in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Henry Cavill.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
And Armie Hammer, and that one was an enjoyable enough film. So, yeah. No, I think that everyone did a good job. I'll be curious to see, I guess, what he does next, because per the usual, I'm left after this movie going, what's next? Yeah, and I guess he's still succeeding then. So,
yeah.
Well, he's still, young, he has so many more films ahead of him if he chooses to continue, which I don't see why he wouldn't. He seems to really love cinema. So,
yeah.
I mean, Martin Scorsese is, octogenarian now, I think, or close to.
Yeah, he's 130.
Spielberg is getting up there too. I think he's around 80.
Yeah, so, and they're still out there making, Martin's making movies. Spielberg's having fun.
Well, we could talk about it for hours. Is there anything else in particular, guys? I mean, I don't want to. Happy to keep talking about it. I just don't want to.
I think for anyone who goes in watching it, I think I guess if this is a helpful pointer, my understanding of the timeline is essentially kind of almost like the weird sort of it happens thrice over sort of thing of Looper, where it's like 1 timeline, 2 timeline, 3 timeline, everything is now wrapped up and buttoned.
Yeah.
You just don't get to see the 3rd timeline. It sort of happens like around you. Like it's encapsulating the whole narrative. So if that's helpful in any kind of way, you'll know, you'll watch it and you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. I think his goal, before we
go ahead.
This is, I think it really is just to say, I'm the smartest guy in the room. I think that's Nolan's big desire is to say that, and for the most part, he's probably right. He's brilliant when it comes to his themes and how he delivers them. But with this one, it just kind of lost me a little bit. But I'm hoping to get that back on the second viewing, probably a year from now. So.
Yeah. And one thing I do love, he more than almost any other filmmaker has a great ability to create really unique, suspenseful heists. Like the opera at the beginning. I mean, the Dark Knight opening is an obvious example, but has such a good ability to create really interesting settings, concepts, particulars about the heist itself. I love, like, whenever there's a heist in a Christopher Nolan movie, it's going to be good, and that kind of reminds me of Michael Mann a little bit, what he draws from, but.
Well, this kind of filmmaking is why it's always been, I think, a real shame that, he'll never be able to do a Bond movie just because, one, I don't think that he really has the interest, even though it's pretty obvious that he loves Bond films. And And two, I don't think that the producers of Bond would ever give Christopher Nolan the creative range that he demands. And so they would let him do it, and he'd make something incredible, and then they'd be like, absolutely not.
Now, are
Cut
we
it
going
to death?
Yeah, are we going to be getting the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek?
I hope so.
Never.
It's never going to happen,
ever.
but I hope so.
Yeah.
I want his Exorcist too. I know that he wanted to make like a horror film as well, but I mean, if it's true that he's retiring soon, I don't know what we'll be getting.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that he just, since he's already been kind of experimenting with taking some of his more recent films and chopping them into parts and turning them into miniseries, I'm really hoping that he's just going to like quit film and then move to miniseries on streaming, so that way he can go out and be like, yeah, my film record was phenomenal my entire life, you know, because then if it's all crap after that, it's like, well, it was my streaming career. I was still the greatest American director ever made, you know.
Blame Netflix.
Yeah. I could see him going miniseries, you know.
Yeah.
I could definitely see him doing that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, anything else about Tenet?
Nah.
I guess the real question is, you know, the title is a palindrome. Has anyone tried watching the movie backwards yet? Maybe with a record playing to see if anything syncs up, you know, Dark Side of the Moon or something?
Maybe on a really slow day. I'll give it a shot. But
okay. Try acid beforehand. Tell me how it goes.
And we never heard from Henry again.
Yeah, that's it. That was my last recording.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, out of 5 stars?
3.5.
I'll go 3.
Gosh, I want to give it a pass, but damn, Christopher, I don't know if you're earning it. I'll go 2.5 this time. 2.5. All right. Well, I guess with that done, we can get to our listener question. So the film, unless guys, there's any news you want to bring up, nothing in particular for me.
No.
I watched a movie last night at like 3 a.m. Because I couldn't sleep. I had like a bad case of insomnia. It was called Sea Fever.
Oh.
And it's a low-budget horror film that takes place on the ocean. And this trawler, they get stuck. And they're like, oh my God, something has us. We don't know what it is. Let's go out and investigate. And it's this giant luminescent creature that has tentacles like a squid, and it's suction cupped their trawler. Right. And what it does is it kind of emits like this parasite inside of the hull of the ship, because it just breaches through. It just eats through. And, it works its way kind of like a pandemic movie, where people get sick. And it was fascinating. Like, I thought, it's definitely dreadful, because you're kind of living in this reality right now.
Yeah.
But if you love a good horror film that takes place on the ocean, like, I love ocean horror. It's just, it might be my favorite type of horror, because it's just, I don't know, there's something about the ocean that creeps me out.
Yeah.
And I'm a lot more forgiving. So it's not a perfect film, but it is a great time.
Okay. Now, Sky, we do have picks of the week as well. So don't give people everything just yet.
I got more.
Okay, good. But no, that sounds really interesting. Now, Sky, have you seen the 47 Meters Down?
Yeah, I liked 47 Meters Down. Hated the sequel.
Fair.
I thought it was terrible, but
that's fair.
He got more budget for the sequel, but the sharks looked less real, which I think is just wild.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 2 syndrome.
Yeah. It's wild. I don't know how that works. You have more money, but the movie looks worse. How does that happen?
You spread it thinner.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, we got to make it bigger since we have more money. But then you like make the spectacle so big that then you're like, shit, we're skimming a little on these things.
We can afford like catering 10%. Now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, well, yeah, so the Filmbuds podcast at gmail.com is where you can reach us at. Also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Filmbuds, and thefilmbuds.com. You can check out all that stuff. So please follow us there if you have not yet. So the one we have this week that I mentioned earlier is from Emily Davis. Paul, any relation there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Probably not, though. The Davis side is a very small branch of a tree.
Okay. She says, "Hi, Film Bud and Bud. Give your best and worst film of these top Hollywood directors. Much appreciated." So the 5 that she gave us was Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, Ava DuVernay, Guillermo del Toro, and Catherine Bigelow. So kind of an interesting mix there. A little unexpected, and I like it. So, guys, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do, we each give our best Spielberg, each give our best Nolan, or do you want to go best and worst each time? What do you guys want to do?
I say we do best and worst of each, director, and just kind of move through it,
Okay. Well, who wants to kick it off? I'm interested to see people's answers.
I'll go. I'll go with Spielberg first, right?
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
His best movie is, drum roll, because I don't remember what I put down. Oh, I thought it was. I just wanted to be sure. Best film, Jaws. I think Jaws is his
solid choice.
His masterpiece. Dude was only like 29, I think, when he made it.
Wow.
It really upsets me that he was able to do something so amazing and groundbreaking at such a young age. And then his worst film is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Talk about a movie.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Are we sure it's a movie?
I don't know. know. That's what they labeled it as on Wikipedia. So.
That's true.
All right. Paul, you want to go first or shall I?
I'll take it away.
Right,
best, Jurassic Park, hands down. Incredible. It fills me with awe and wonder and all of the feelings that I had when I first watched it. Every time I watch it, I think it's got great characters. I think it's got great dialogue. I just really enjoy that movie overall. And it's something that spawned 2 different, sort of passions for me throughout life. When I was a kid, it made me love dinosaurs, and I was one of those kids that knew all the names of every dinosaur. And then obviously it also got me into movies. Worst one, without a doubt, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But I mean, if we're going to dunk on a movie, let's dunk on a movie.
You gotta love Shia LaBeouf, though.
Do we?
Oh.
Well, maybe not so much these days, I guess. But yeah, well, no, those are good choices. All right, well, for me, best is Saving Private Ryan. I love war films, and this one really impacted me when I was young, and I just every time I watch it, it probably has one of my favorite scenes of all time in a film, which is Giovanni Ribisi giving the speech in the church about being asleep and his mother, or about him pretending to be asleep. I love that monologue. And then worst film is Always. So, which is just like nothing offensively wrong with it. It's just very, very dull and way too sentimental, and it just does not work for me. At least Indiana Jones, not a good film, but it's at least keeps me somewhat more entertained, even by its badness, than Always does.
I haven't seen Always, but I disagree with you.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Sky.
I mean, to be fair, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was like watching one of your favorite characters from childhood get stamped out like a used up cigarette. Like,
that's
that was
enough.
Just cinematic death. Harrison Ford has never looked worse.
And see, now for me, I never watched Indiana Jones when I was a kid, and so I didn't have that kind of nostalgic connection to him going into it. It was just another movie.
Okay,
but that's fair enough.
I grew up on Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom. Those are my movies.
Yeah,
Temple of Doom especially. That's dark. It's so dark.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also the second worst Indiana Jones movie.
Oh yeah.
Only because of the woman.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
She really brings down that whole experience. Like every time she's not on screen, I'm like, I'm having an okay time with this movie. And then she shows back up and I'm like, and there it goes. The air just got sucked right out the room.
All right. Well, Sky, Christopher Nolan.
Best film. This was tough. But I think I went with Inception. You know, I love Dark Knight. Don't get me wrong. But it is a middle film and it already kind of works with existing material, you know? But with Inception, you know, like that, he just created all on his own. And I still think it's a masterpiece. I really do. I think it's just incredible, everything that he was able to do with it. And then his worst film.
Don't say it.
I'm thinking it's either Tenet or it's Dunkirk for me. I don't know right yet which one it would be.
Have a heart.
So, you know, I'm going to say it's up in the air between Tenet and Dunkirk for me.
All right. Paul?
For best, I went with The Prestige, you know, that sleight of hand. I know it's another adaptation, so it is pulling from source material, but I don't know. That's one of those instances where
it's a masterpiece.
I love the movie so much that I'm like almost afraid to read the book because I don't want to retroactively find some sort of flaw with the film comparatively. And so I love Prestige. It's got Andy Serkis. It's got David Bowie. Who could ask for anything more? So it's a great little movie. And my worst is probably Batman Begins. Just because it's, I think, the weakest of the Batman trilogy. Katie Holmes is awful in it. And again, she just really bogs down that whole experience. And it's just a very by-the-numbers kind of movie. You know, like it's not very Christopher Nolan. It's not very groundbreaking in any kind of way. It's just a really, really solid, safe, you know, sturdy, but kind of, because of that, I guess, almost bland Batman movie.
Yeah. And Paul, the title, Blu-ray sorting is a nightmare. Where do you put it? Do you put it in the B's? But
yeah, and then Dark Knight follows afterwards.
Oh, I can't handle that. Wait,
because it's chronological Batman, order of the series.
The Dark Knight.
Oh, I know, but it's not together. That's what's so offensive. They should have done Dark Knight in each title. You know,
clearly he had this idea like after the fact. Like clearly he started it midway through and was like, "Shit, that really worked."
Yeah.
Oh well.
All right. Well, for me, best is The Dark Knight, and contrary to what some people think, I love it more than just Heath Ledger. I love Heath Ledger, but I rewatched it recently, and it's so well directed, well written. I love the ideas that it brings up. It looks fantastic. The score is great. I think it's very entertaining, and it has always really impacted me every time I watch it. And Dunkirk is a close second. And then worst is Following. It's not a horrible movie. I find it to be kind of like Spielberg's Always. To just be a bit dull, and I've watched it probably twice at this point, and I just cannot get into it really.
Well, you know, it's a first film.
Yeah. Next is Ava DuVernay.
Mm-hmm.
Sky?
Yeah. Well, admittedly, I've only seen Selma. So I can't really gauge too much. I do want to see more of her work. It's just I'm looking at her IMDb now, and I mean she's done quite a bit, you know. But let's see. Yeah, she has 22 directing credits. A lot of it is television. A lot of it is TV shorts. She had a TV movie. There was Middle of Nowhere, I Will Follow, Selma. So yeah, I mean, she's done, I think, 4 movies, if I'm quickly gauging this correctly. And I've seen Selma. So I enjoyed Selma. I thought it was great, but I can't say if anything was really bad or not.
Yeah.
So I can't weigh in.
That's fair enough. That's your best and your worst.
I mean, if I had to guess, I heard A Wrinkle in Time wasn't great, so I could say A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah,
from what I hear, but I don't know.
Fair enough. Paul?
Best is 13th. the documentary that she did for that's on Netflix about the evolution of
the 13th Amendment, right?
Yeah, and how it evolved slavery into sort of modern policing and incarceration systems. There we go. Jeez.
Come on, Paul.
I know. Pull it together, man. You're slacking. So it's an incredible documentary. It was a hard watch, but very impactful, very powerful, and definitely worth watching. And then worst would probably be A Wrinkle in Time. I started watching some of it at one point and I didn't care to finish. So I think that says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, the best would be Selma, with 13th being a close second. Selma, it's just a great biopic. There aren't a lot of great biopics these days, but it was fantastic across the board and really, really wowed me for a lot of reasons. And then worst would be A Wrinkle in Time. I finished it. We reviewed it on the show way back, and I loved the first maybe 30 minutes, but boy, it goes downhill real quick. So, all right, well, fourth, two to go here. Fourth is Guillermo del Toro. Sky?
So this one was tough. I love del Toro. I really enjoyed Crimson Peak a lot. I think it's very underrated in terms of gothic horror. We don't see gothic horror much. I know it's making a resurgence right now with, like The Haunting of Hill House and Mike Flanagan. I know he's killing it right now with gothic. But for me, his best film, though, is still Pan's Labyrinth. I know it's probably the most critically acclaimed of his, but that's for a reason. It really is a flawless masterpiece. And then I think his worst film, for me, is probably Pacific Rim. I just, and I don't think it was his fault. I think, it may not be the film for me. I like a big monster spectacle, but half of it was really shrouded in rain and weather effects. So I really couldn't tell what was going on too much. But I think that's just the way it goes with these big monster films, Otherwise, you're going to see how crappy the CGI looks. So,
yeah. Love that rain.
There's so much rain.
Yeah. Paul, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Pan's Labyrinth is a masterpiece, and I honestly had to kind of just remove it off the list for myself just because it's a gold standard just across film history in and of itself. So kind of removing his god tier filmmaking stuff, I looked at whatever was left. And so the best is Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
Oh, yeah.
And his worst is Blade 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm coming at Blade 2.
I love Blade 2. I think it's so absurd.
It is. And, I honestly don't think he's made a movie that I truly dislike, to be fair. So if the worst that you do is Blade 2 or even Pacific Rim, then hey, that's not bad.
Yeah. No, that's...
It's true.
Yeah. I'm the same as you guys. I think Pan's Labyrinth is kind of like Paul said, it's like a gold standard, and it is a masterpiece. No denying that. But that being said, I feel like when I think of del Toro, the one I go to most is Crimson Peak. And I seem to I've rewatched it many times at this point, and it only keeps going up. There's more to explore there. And I love that one wholeheartedly. And then worst for me, I don't think he has a bad film. Maybe rewatching some of his older ones that may change. I don't know. But at this point, I think if I had to choose one, it would be Kronos. I don't dislike the movie, but it's one that did not leave a huge impact on me.
That's on my list of movies to watch. Actually, I haven't ever seen it. So
now you got a real low bar set for you.
I know. I watched the trailer and I saw Ron Perlman, and I'm like, I'm on board. Oh, yeah. I'm sold.
All right, last one, Catherine Bigelow.
Mm-hmm.
I want more Catherine Bigelow films.
Same.
Okay, so this one was tough. I love Point Break. I think that might be my choice. I'm going to go ahead and say Point Break is my choice. It's pure ridiculousness, right? It doesn't really hold up well, but it's definitely leans hard on the nostalgia factor for me. I grew up watching it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about a bunch of surfers who also rob banks. It's just absurd. But I really enjoy the movie Near Dark as well. I think that is a fantastic horror film. It doesn't get as much appreciation as it deserves. But I am going to say Point Break. And then I think her worst film for me is... I don't have one. Actually, I thought about it, and I don't really think that she has a bad film that I can think of right off the top of my head. So yeah, I think Catherine Bigelow is solid. Everything that she does has been great. I mean, that's what happens when, the power couple that was, James Cameron and Catherine Bigelow, like they just don't really make bad movies.
Yeah. Paul, what about you, man?
So the worst, I had to sort of look at it, and again, Hurt Locker, Zero Dark 30, she makes great stuff. So I had to sort of scroll back, and I ended up going with K-19, The Widowmaker, the one where Harrison Ford is supposed to be a Russian.
I haven't seen it, but I got to now.
And so I ended up going with that one. It's a very middle of the road, period piece kind of war film. It doesn't blow your socks up. It's fine. It's there.
Yeah. Dads
love it, I'm sure.
Oh, of course.
Someone's father is watching it right now and is like, great World War II film. So the best, though, I'd have to say Zero Dark 30, probably. I remember being very effectively uncomfortable watching it. I remember really digging deep into how I felt about that movie and how that whole narrative played out. And I like the examination of, American culpability in atrocious war crimes, because you have to learn from your mistakes. And, I think that it's a great movie. And I also, just as a fun little side story, so the first time that we see it, it was me, my mom, and my brother. And we're all sitting there. And down the way, there's this couple. And throughout the movie, they just keep on like chitter chattering off and on. And I'm like, I need them to stop talking. And so I try to, kind of get their attention, and it doesn't really work. And finally, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. If they can just keep their mouths shut during the compound scene, I'll be fine.
Great stuff.
And so we start to get to the compound scene, and we get, a little ways into it, and I'm like, silence, silence, silence. And then, and I was like, motherfucker, they are gonna do this. And so then throughout the entire compound scene, she's back and forth, husband, wife, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So finally the movie finishes, and everyone's getting up, and my mom and my brother leave, and they go off one way, and I just beeline it right in the opposite direction. And I look at them and I go, do you know how rude you are? And I'm about, when did this movie come out? This was like
2012, I think, 2013, something like that.
Okay, so I'm like 18 at the time. Yeah, just giving it to like some 40, 50-year-old people in the middle of a theater in front of everyone, just tongue lashing. Because
Texas
I was
justice.
I was fucking astounded that anyone would have the gall.
Yeah.
So
well done.
Yeah, just you watch out. Hope you do not get a theater with me. I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, my favorite is The Hurt Locker. And it's just really one of the most intense, like nail-biting movies I've probably ever seen. And it just is so unique in its presentation and direction. I love Jeremy Renner in it. It's just all around, it's a great film. And then the worst, there are a couple of her mid-career films I have not seen, but the one that I guess just comes to mind is The Weight of Water, which, similar to Kronos for Del Toro, it's not a horribly done film. It's just, it left so little impact on me that would be the one. I kind of like what you said, Sky. I don't think she really has a bad movie from what I've seen. And so that one, if I had to choose one, it would be that.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I haven't seen The Weight of Water.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Anything else about this discussion? Any other directors? Anything else you want to mention about this? Thanks for the question, Emily. It was nice of you.
Yeah, it was a great question.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so again, the filmbutspodcast@gmail.com is where you can reach us at. So please send us, if you're a new listener or if you have been listening for a while, please send us any questions, comments, greetings. Love hearing from you. So I guess we can end off with our picks of the week. Sky, I know you saw Wonder Woman.
I did see Wonder Woman. I'll talk briefly about Wonder Woman. I liked it. I know a lot of people, when I finished it, I made a point to go into it without reading any reviews or anything like that because I wanted to go into it fresh. And I walked away and I was like, wow, that was entertaining. And then I saw all the hate going out for it right now. And, the film has some problems. But in a way like Bill and Ted Face the Music, it was lighthearted. There was a certain level of innocence to it, and it was campy, and it was fun, and I had a blast. I do think it was a little long, and some things just don't make any sense. There's a lot of suspension of belief in this movie, but overall, I had a great time, and I think it is what 2020 needs right now. I just don't think that people are on board because the superhero bar is so high.
Right.
Like Wonder Woman itself, the first film is great. And this one probably doesn't reach that height but that's okay. I still think it was an enjoyable film.
Now, how was Kristen Wiig?
Yeah, I thought she was great. I see a lot of people are, making disparaging remarks about her performance, but I thought it was great. I hope we see more of her in these types of roles. I always think it's wonderful when comedians, they bring other acting abilities to their arsenal. And Pedro Pascal, he's in it. He's great, of course. I know a lot of people are saying that he's a little over the top, but that was intentional. So you can't blame the actor for doing what they're told. But, I do want to talk real fast about a movie called The Rental. It's a movie that I watched very recently, and it was directed by Dave Franco.
Oh,
and it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's a thriller, and I absolutely loved it. Blown away that it was by someone like Dave Franco as well, because he's not known for these types of things. But if you're in the mood for a low budget, effective thriller, it's great. Performances are great. Alison Brie's in it. Dan Stevens. It's wonderful. Essentially, it's two couples that go to a Airbnb, and they realize that they're being watched. And then it becomes a lot darker, than that. But essentially, that's the premise, and it's great. Really great stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, I was curious about that one, so I might have to give it a poke.
Has anyone else seen Wonder Woman? Real
Not
fast.
Yet.
No.
Not yet.
Over the weekend, my plan was to try and watch Tenet, Soul, and Wonder Woman, and I don't think that I'm going to get to Wonder Woman, but I at least got to 2 out of 3, so,
Yeah. Well,
Fair.
Go for it, Paul.
Sure. You know what? Yeah, I guess I'll pick... Actually, I'm not going to pick Soul. I'm going to pick White Christmas as my pick of the week. I rewatched that one at my wife's family's house on Christmas Day. And it's like a very simple, innocent, naive kind of, story, very simple filmmaking. But it's really effective. They've got the formula down, the old couple, the young couple, the misunderstanding, the third act breakup. They've got it all. But it's a pleasant little film, and the chemistry amongst the actors is there, and there's some solid, clever little dialogue in it. So, yeah, I'd say White Christmas. Why not?
Yeah.
It's a classic.
It is.
It
is a classic.
It's got George Clooney's aunt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Now, young people, George Clooney is the man known for the bat nipple meme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also the best Batman, right?
Of course. Even he thinks so.
He beats Kilmer.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll mention I haven't been watching much. This year, with just everything going on, I've been largely watching 90s and 2000s sitcoms, just as kind of like an escapist, kind of mindless experience. And so I've either been rewatching or watching for the first time. I've gone through like Frasier, Everybody Loves Raymond, and I just started watching today for the first time The King of Queens. You guys seen this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's charming, it's fun. It's not like, would never really be my favorite of those shows, but it's still, for what it is, it's charming. It does the job. And some reason for watching it is I did also watch over the last month or two Leah Remini's Scientology series, which is fantastic. And it's such a great, so compelling and informative and cautionary story. And so it is kind of cool to see her out of that. But yeah, it's not going to break the door down, but it's a nice time for the current age.
Yeah. I watched a lot of pilots this past semester. Just going back and exploring some of these older television, shows, some modern, of course, but like some of these older ones, like I had never watched the pilot from MASH before, and it's just, it's very educational and rewarding to go back and watch some of these shows and being like, wow, we've, look at where we are now. And some of the storytelling too, like, gosh, MASH had some amazing storytellings.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. I think that one of the things that the constant influx of new content just all the time, especially in the streaming age, is that you oftentimes end up sort of losing the lineage perspective on film and TV. You're watching it so out of historical order that you're watching it without any context of where this fits into the greater sort of narrative of how film and TV shows change over time.
Right.
So yeah, it's always great to go back and not only look at something that you haven't watched in a while, but then go back and also kind of look at when it was, who was involved in it, how these people also all kind of interact with each other, because a lot of these things all intersect as well.
Yeah. Other than that, not too much else.
How'd you like Frasier?
I love Frasier. I've gone through it. I've watched it over the years, and so I love Frasier to death. It's just a great show, really, really a great show. All right, guys. Well, anything else you want to mention before we wrap up?
No, I think that I'm set.
All right.
Yeah.
Done. All right. Well, I guess that is about it for the show this week. Now, next week, Paul, were you thinking Wonder Woman, Soul, something else? I mean, I'm always down for whatever.
You know what? Let's poke the bear. Let's add to the dialogue on Wonder Woman. Let's see where we land on this.
All right. I'm down for that.
Sky, if I hate it, I'm coming for you.
Just know that a lot of the overwhelming response is that it's bad.
Yeah.
Zach Braff actually tweeted today that it was like, he's like, I don't really watch superhero movies, but I have so many questions. So just know that even Hollywood people are bashing it.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
We gotta tweet him and see if we can get him on the show.
Well, they just announced that Patty Jenkins is like coming back for round 3. So whether or
she
not
has a lot on her plate.
She does.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was any good, I guess the numbers were there enough for people coming to watch it, I guess, because of the word of mouth, maybe, of, oh my God, it's awful. Maybe it had like a huge opening weekend to where it didn't really matter that it did poorly,
Yeah.
It's a success by the numbers alone.
Yeah.
Well, with HBO Max, it's what, $15 a month, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So I'm sure that they looked at how many, new subscribers they were getting and what the numbers were when people were viewing it. So, I guess that's probably how they're viewing their income for that movie. I have no idea their business model right now. I have no idea.
Try and compete with Netflix. Take out a lot of large business loans so that they can start developing a massive stable of content. So that way people start coming, because eventually, theoretically, any show will pay itself off over time.
Right.
I mean, that's the Netflix model, but they're still in debt,
Yeah.
A lot.
I think the only streaming service realistically that I think can actually outlast everyone else is still Amazon. I think Amazon has the financial backing to just eliminate every competition.
Yeah. The only reason that Apple can probably go for a long time is just because Apple is a cash-rich company. They're one of the few that actually has a stockpile of wealth.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, Sky, and now you are, of course, welcome back next week, or whenever you would like. Welcome back anytime, man.
Thank you.
And thanks again for taking the time. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. It's a break right now from the semester, so it's easy right now. Once the semester gets rolling in February, I'm going to be a ghost.
Yeah.
And of course, Paul, man, it's always great to see you, and thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for listening, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here and get to talk about movies. That's one of my favorite things in the world, is to talk with people who know movies about movies. So glad to be here.
Weirdly.
And it was awesome just seeing you guys. I haven't seen Henry. I hadn't seen you in a while. But Paul, it's been years, man. So I really hope that we get to see each other in person at some point in the near future, because I miss you, man. Like, this is great to see you guys.
Yeah, I miss you too. We'll have to try and get together at some point. We can try and figure out a way to arrange a trip, because I can get up to Greensboro without having to stop for gas. So,
wow, I thought you were in Austin. I'm sorry.
No. Sorry, listeners. My whole life has gone through all kinds of weird stories. I got a long tale to tell you, my guy.
Okay, we'll text outside the podcast. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, we hope you have a happy New Year. Stay safe, and we will see you next time.